So first off, I'm just going to have him, I'm going to first animate the motion of him moving from one place to the next. So I'm going to have the first keyframe here, the next keyframe. Oh yeah, by the way, look at that. There he is, chomping away. All right, anyway, so the next frame, depending on how fast I want this to go, right now I have everything happening within 3 seconds. So I'm just going to first kind of put these frames in random places. Not random, but just kind of, what's the right way to say this? I'm just going to kind of put him in the location he should be in by the appointed time. And the appointed time is on the timeline. So frame 5, he's here. So, and then frame 15, I'll make another keyframe and he's over here. And from 15 to 20, he's here. Oops, that's the keyframe. There we go. He's here. So how do you know where to put him in whatever area? You don't really know I don't know exactly what keyframe. I'm just kind of guessing between the space. So since more space between there's more space between here than there is between here. So there should be more space in the timeline between those two distances. Now, where he goes, that part, I'm just using straight lines right now. Like, there is a way to do curved lines, but we'll get into that another lesson. So what I'm going to have him do right here is hesitate. He's going to go this way first, and then he realizes he's going the wrong way. So I'm going to have him come about right here, and then have him turn around. He's going to come here, let him stay there for a second, or if he could move up just a little bit just to notice that, and then he'll turn around immediately. And then from here, he'll rush over to this one. Now keep in mind that distance, I'm just guessing that would make sense. Because, so right now, this is what it looks like. That is pretty fast, so I might want to bring this, or I might have to extend all of these. And it might just seem fast because this is skipping around, but we'll see. Let's drag him over here again. Let's put him at 2-second mark here. Then from here to here, I'm going to have him move right here. And then shortly after, exit the entire thing. All in 3 seconds. So this is what we have right now. Alright, so let's put the motion screen on it and see how it looks, which is going to look really bad, just so you know. So I put the classic tween on there. So let's look at this. Alright, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Alright, so what we have to do now is change his direction. So when he comes through here, he shouldn't be faced the other way. He should be faced this way. So we're going to be doing a lot of rotation. But notice that my point A, he's pointing down, but point B, he's pointing to the right. So we want to make sure he stays pointing down from here to here, and then right here he should be pointing the other way. But the question is, why does that look so weird? Because we need another keyframe. So we need a keyframe from here to here. So right here is where he needs to immediately turn this way. As a matter of fact, let's make it abrupt. Let's make it where he's here, he comes here, the very next frame is a keyframe. And let's zoom in so we can get this angle right. There we go. There we go. Now that's more like it. Comes in, turns. He needs to turn again on this very next frame. So from here, that's where the keyframe would be. Let's zoom in again, because you get better accuracy when you zoom in. Just so you know, you zoom in even more. And what we're looking for is for the line in this transform tool to be perfectly straight. Even though that might be a little difficult. If you can't get it exactly straight, you want it to be as close to straight as possible. And that's pretty straight. It's not perfect. It's not perfect at all, but it is very close. Alright, so let's zoom out a little bit. So he comes in and right here he should still be turned the other way. So let's give it a keyframe. Let's take that, let's zoom in so we can get it more accurate. There we go. Let's zoom out. There we go. Now this is going to be the part that is going to be kind of weird, because a lot of you will be tempted to do this, to say from here to here, I'm just going to flip it, right? Because that makes sense. You just grab this and let's just flip horizontally. And oh, but look at that. That sucks. Now, if you do flip it, the way to fix this is to just flip this one as well, and you won't have to worry about it. So now you flip both of those, or instead of doing that in the first place, what you could have done right here instead of flip it was just let's see if let's undo again. There we go. Alright, so instead of flipping it right here, alright, so instead of flipping it right here, we could have just rotated it. And the reason why we could have just rotated it is because it's such a 2D character that it wouldn't make a difference. And then we could just rotate it again. But either way, whatever floats your boat. Alright, so this is what we have so far. Alright, so let's go through, and right here, this very next frame, that's where I'm going to actually have them turn. There we go. And then right here, still want him to be faced this way. And then this next frame, that's where I want him to be rotated. Let's zoom in again. There we go. Zoom out. And this is where this next frame he will be turned. So let's do the keyframe. So we can edit it. Turn this way. And then just so he doesn't rotate in the middle of coming down here, we have to turn him here too. There we go. So let's zoom out and see what we have. It's a little fast, but I think it gets the point across. Now, just so we can see it better, let's change this color, this background color. Let's give it more of a cooler color. Simple Roots. Let's use the dark blue. Let's make this one more of a lighter blue. Oh, that's what happened. Okay, let's grab this frame and let's bring this all the way down. I was wondering what happened. And it probably happened over here as well. Yep, let's clear this keyframe. Remember, so basically what I did was when I changed my background, I wasn't on my first frame, so it created two backgrounds. So if I'm here, instead of not on my first frame, but if I'm on any other frame, and I decided to change this background color. Oh, so it didn't do it this time. So it made me look like a fool. There it is, there it is. It happened. All right, notice I changed the color, so it changed in both places, or it changed right here too. So yeah, there we go. So now we can see this much better. Let's play it. Now, if you want to add little pebbles or whatever those things is that he eats, that will be bonus points. Okay, so let's. I'm gonna add some real quick. They're usually white, so let's get this. Let's create a little circle. And we don't even really have to make these into symbols or anything. You can, don't get me wrong, you can make them into symbols, but they would just need to be separate layers. So that, well actually, they don't need to be separate layers. Let me do it this way. So, just as he comes through, once he gets to that point in time, you can delete it. So, just like with the background, oops. Yeah, that's what happened. So because he's moving so fast, he's not chomping fast enough. So I would either want to slow him down on the timeline, or I can speed up his mouth. Now I'll show you how to slow him down on the timeline. Since we have everything straight, the easiest thing for me to do to slow him down on the timeline is just to come in here, keep my mouse like selected, like just like this. I don't want to touch a frame. If I touch a frame, it's going to affect it in a different way. So if I touch the frame and press this, notice this keyframe is actually just extending on this layer. I don't want to do that. So what I'll do is make sure nothing else is highlighted, but on my timeline, between these two frames, I can just press F5, or I can add more time in by clicking here. That's the same thing as adding more time. So I'll just come back to here, add more time by pressing F5. Come to here, go down F5, or press this button right here. All it is the frame, insert frame. Press here. And keep in mind, as long as I don't highlight anything, all of the frames will stay relatively, well, all of them will grow together, put it like that. All the layers will grow together. Then this here. This. All right, so I was just kind of guesstimating. So now, of course, I would need to change where it deletes. So probably right there. Do this.